Hi there and welcome to Sported. I'm Shane, and the big news today is that Michael Carrick is now ahead of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to take over at Man United as interim manager. But before we get into that, a massive congratulations to Macclesfield, who play in the 6th tier of English football, and they dumped out the cup winners, Crystal Palace. That has to go down as probably the best result, the biggest upset ever, beating the winners from last year's final. That is absolutely incredible from Macclesfield. Fair play to them, and deserved, by the way. So hopefully they'll get a big draw in the next round and make a lot of money. So congratulations to them. But let's get into the big story, and it's Michael Carrick. So last week, allegedly, it was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was in advanced talks, but murmurings coming out of there via TalkSport is they didn't like the things that were being said by the Solskjaer camp. Who knows? That might just be hearsay. But what we do know is that Michael Carrick is now in advanced talks and looking like he will take over from Darren Fletcher until the end of the season. So this is via Sky Sports, and it says Man United are in detailed discussions with Michael Carrick about the role of interim head coach, with the former midfielder now in pole position. Further talks are planned with Carrick and his representatives on Monday. Today, no such talks are on the agenda for Solskjaer. Bit of a turnaround there. However, United bosses have made no final decisions, and Solskjaer remains an option. United hope to have an interim in place by the end of Tuesday, following Amorim's sacking on January 6th. So they can take charge of training on Wednesday. The crazy thing is they've got today and tomorrow off. That's mad. They should be in. They're 7th, aren't they, in the league? Are they 7th? Let's have a look. 7th. They're 7th. So why have they got 2 days off? That's crazy. But anyway, it's their decision. Part of the madness that's going on at Man United. If that was Fergie, they'd never have 2 days off. They'd be in there working on something with Darren Fletcher, with the coaches. You can't be having 2 days off. You're 7th. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So Carrick and Solskjaer were both candidates for the role, and both former United players have met the club bosses and pitched for the job. Sky Sports have been told Carrick was particularly impressive with his plans for the remainder of the season in those meetings, but were also aware of how popular Solskjaer was during his previous stint as head coach. At the beginning, he was. At the beginning. And certainly through the early stages, but it did turn sour and toxic towards the end, and the fans actually turned on him. So, it's rose-tinted glasses in that statement there. So, current short-term interim head coach Fletcher saw the 2-1 defeat by Brighton in the FA Cup, and has now reached the end of his agreed period. There we go. So Gary Neville saying they put Ryan Giggs in charge 10 years ago, then Ollie came in, and you go back to the old boys, then you go for a new one, then you go for more experience, and it's almost like a cycle, like a movie. We've all seen it before. It's like Groundhog Day. And what do I think is Ollie is? Do I think Ollie is someone who loves the club? Yes. He knows the job? Yes. He's been in the job, but it's same but different. So we'll see. And now, what is interesting is that Man United now have got the fewest games. They've got 40 games left. 40 games. This defeat to Grimsby in the Carabao Cup second round, then a first ever defeat to Brighton. Also made it the first time United have been knocked out 2 domestic cup competitions at the first hurdle since 1981-82. It just gets better and better, doesn't it? And that was not only deja vu, a United experience on Sunday night. Another was Danny Welbeck. The last time United had 45 games or less in the season was 11 years ago, when Welbeck scored an FA Cup winner in a 2-1 win over Arsenal. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Welbeck, they could do with him now, couldn't they? They bet they regret getting rid of him. That's madness. This thing just gets worse and worse, didn't it? Fans are now calling for Jim Ratcliffe to go, for Ineos to go. It's been a bit of a disaster, what with all the cutbacks and saying they've got no money and then spending an absolute fortune, sacking members of staff that have been there for years. Now with Amorim, it got toxic, so clearly there's been a fallout behind closed doors, and after Jim Ratcliffe said he's looking to give Amorim 3 years, sacked him because he fell out with Wilcox, is an absolute mess at Man United. Alex Ferguson must be pulling his hair out. You know, what he built and sustained and was just success after success. Now it's an absolute calamity, isn't it? It's toxic, and it's great to see. I love it. As a Liverpool fan, I absolutely love this. So we'll see. I can see why they're going for Carrick. He seems a pretty much more safe pair of hands as opposed to Solskjaer. They've been there, they've done that. And like I said before, it's insanity going back and expecting a different result with the same manager. So we'll see. Very, very interesting. But it's all toxic at Man United, and I bloody love it. So get your comments in. I hope you liked the video. More to come. Take care. Speak soon.